first copy.
Oh, thank you.
Yes,
Thank you.
and it's very nice to just open up to a page and just read and just kind of settle into
Meditate on what it says.
settle into what you pick up as far as a vibration. So is this next poetry book going to be along the same line?
Oh,
where
along the same
inspirational?
lines, and I think even better because, like everybody that writes, you get better as you get older anyway.
Yeah, as you
You get
practice.
better.
That's why they practice medicine and practice law,
Absolutely.
because they're practicing on us. But
Yes, and I have a friend, his name is Ray Smith, and he's helping me with the editing, which I didn't have before.
Okay.
So there have been mistakes in this type of thing, but he's helping me out.
Oh, excellent.
And I've added to the poems through inspiration. I meditate a lot, and something will always pop into my head, and I'll write it. At the end of the show, I like to write a poem. It's about vibration,
Oh,
so
sure.
we'll talk about that a
That's
little bit
excellent,
later.
excellent.
Yeah, and I'll go ahead.
Well, it's just-
I'm just noticing you're talking about one book and poems, but look at the array of books. While you're with us, you managed to get this huge book out on numerology.
and a DVD.
And a DVD, yes. A book on
This
numerology.
numerology book is
And poetry.
condensed with this one, because not everybody, they may want a touch of it, so it's more condensed. So this one's very similar. This has more to it.
You've been very busy
I've been busy.
But I have to say,
and productive.
one of the things I liked about your first book on numerology was
Thank you.
that DVD that you came out with.
Yes.
I think I know no other book out there on numerology where the author presents the information and guides you by using a DVD. I thought that was a great inspiration on your
Well, I
part.
don't do that anymore.
No,
I
I
don't do
know.
it anymore because there's the TV arena and
Right.
YouTube and all of
YouTube,
that.
absolutely.
So I don't do that anymore.
But I thought it was great when
when
it
it
jumped off,
wasn't popular.
when YouTube wasn't a big thing.
Yeah, it wasn't
Right?
popular. I did it. Thanks to my husband. He's the one that, I had the idea and he had the camera doing the camera
good.
work. You know?
Good.
You know. And the tarot book, what happened, I have a little story. I like to talk about my girlfriend. I was writing the numerology book. The numerology book took a long time. I was going to write a very small book, believe it or not. And I just kept getting ideas when I would meditate. And then I would work on the book and change things around. And it took me 9 years of changing things around. And I finally came to the point, I'm done. But while I was working on it, I was at I belonged to the First Unitarian Church, and they had a dinner type of thing there. And this lady Carol, who I would say hello to, just as a passing by.
Sure.
But this one time, she says, Staris, what has been happening with you? And we always said hello and that was it. And I turned around and came back because that week I was thinking, I've been doing classes on tarot, and I had all these papers that I was giving away, and I should write a book. And I started putting it in order, and I said, but how am I ever going to put it together, right? And when she said that, I said, well, I'm glad you asked. I said, and I told her the same story. And she says, I put books together. She says, how many pages? And I says, it's going to be around 80. She says, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll do it for free.
Wow.
Everybody out there, listen, because something's always wonderful happening.
That's right.
I was blown away. I'm not easily surprised. Usually I get premonitions.
That's right,
But
that's
I was
right.
surprised. So we worked on the book together. My son-in-law, I can't remember if he was my son-in-law at the time, but my son-in-law, he's the one that designed the cover.
Right.
And so that book went out first, and then the numerology book.
Well, I find it interesting. You got a book on numerology. You got another book on tarot, but they both deal with numbers. They both deal with vibration.
Yes,
And
definitely.
the thing that's interesting is that the numerology book, you're basically focused on numbers that are set, that change year to year, but the
Yes.
tarot changes every time you roll it out.
What I did in the book, because I tried to, because obviously you look at other books through all the years, and I wanted someone to open up a page, just close their eyes and point to it, and I have one sentence that takes the paragraph and puts it in one sentence to have like an enlightenment for that day. And I also did it for each of the cards, so someone could take a card. This is also regular cards too. That book covers that. So
That's
you could take a regular card. Say you're not too sure that you want to spend, because tarot cards are expensive now. They're
Right.
around like
That's right.
$30, and that's a
Right.
lot to go spend if you
Oh,
really
absolutely.
don't want.
It's something that,
You
right,
may not care for it or
Right.
that type of thing. So you could buy $3 cards or
right.
something.
Oil or
You
whatever.
shouldn't buy new cards. You know, that I want to point out.
Okay.
Even if, the
So that,
regular
that's been laying
cards.
around for a while.
Don't do that, no, because
Don't do what?
don't buy a deck. Don't use a deck that's been lying around or
Oh,
you've been
okay.
shuffling and playing cards with, because what you're looking for, we talked about vibrations a
Vibration,
little
right,
while ago.
exactly.
What you're looking for is your vibration.
Okay.
And so
Gotcha.
I say, buy a deck of cards, shuffle them up, put them in a drawer, like it could be a sweater drawer,
Sure.
or a place that you honor. You know,
Okay.
especially if it's your favorite sweaters,
Sure.
okay? A drawer that you honor. Leave them there for a week. Sort of like forget
Pick
about
out the
them.
vibrations.
Take them out, shovel them again, and then ask your question. Is the best way to start is to ask a question, yes and no.
Okay.
A yes and no question.
Right.
Or you could take one card and look at the sentence or look at the paragraph that's there, and that will give you direction. Just to go back a little bit, the tarot cards came first, then the regular cards came. So we'll say the hearts, the cups, the swords, the
Swords,
spades,
right.
the clubs are. What do they have? The clubs are a club.
Hatchet, right?
Yeah, it's still
right.
a club. And the diamond is like a diamond, you know, it's shaped like a diamond in the
Gem,
regular
yeah.
cards. And it would be coins in the tarot. So everything, nothing really changes. Everything's the same. We all have the same story. Everything I say here has been said 100 times, but it's the way I say it.
Right.
And maybe my own particular insight. That's
Right.
important.
That is important.
A person's insight and how they live their life, how they see their life.
Right, because the insight that you're sharing with somebody may be something that they're kind of aware of, but it hasn't been brought to their attention. And because
Yes.
you're able to pick something in that has value, and you put your interpretation on it, it's in
Yes.
different words, that they get the aha moment.
That's right, and because we can say maybe there's thousands of tarot cards. What makes mine better than someone else's? It doesn't.
No.
What it makes it better is how you
Interpretation.
resonate, your interpretation, how it feels comfortable for you. Because we're all different. We
Right.
need different things.
Right. Well, I'll be honest with you. I knew that there was a value to the regular cards that people use for playing, and I knew that you could read them, but I was ignorant as to what they actually meant, what the values are.
Also, now you have an understanding.
But now, well, I had a kind of an understanding, but I didn't know where to go for it.
Oh, I see.
And now I know I can just go to your book
Yeah,
and open
yes.
it up and get the information
Yeah, so if
from.
you see the Ace of Hearts
Right.
in the regular tarot cards, I mean Ace of Cups in the tarot cards, the Ace of Hearts are the same thing. And so they're the lower cards. Of course, you're missing out on the higher arcana cards.
That's right, that's right.
But that's another story. It's like everything's. A person should start small anyway. On a personal level, what I did when I studied astrology and the numerology, and I used the cards, the regular cards and the tarot cards together, so I could
Right.
see how
Right.
it's really all the same.
Well, you and June used to
Yes,
talk about this, bounce off each other,
yes,
and
because
ideas, and
she was really into her astrology and how coordinated certain things are. Well, I would say it all is. It's interpretation, and it doesn't go anywhere unless you use your intuition. You can memorize every book here. This whole book, you can memorize it,
Right.
but it means nothing if you don't use your intuition, because that's the door. That's the open door. And I say that with the cards too. It isn't. You're not telling the future. What you're doing, you're taking what you have, and you're opening the door to see things from a different viewpoint. And because of that viewpoint, you've changed your life. And I always say, if the cards seem like they're a little negative when you're doing the cards, it's not negative. It means that isn't time to go there. So you had a yes and no question, and you're looking for a yes and you get a no.
right.
It's not the time to go there. Just hold back. Or maybe you need to put more into it. Or maybe you need to see something from a different perspective. Because, again, we go back to energy. If you're saying positive and negative, and you get all hung up in that and the yin and yang of it,
Right.
then you get lost. You lose your moment. You lose the present moment, because in the present moment is all you have, and it's the best it's going to get.
That's right.
Not seeing it as so much negative, seeing it from a different viewpoint.
Right.
Look deeper. Look deeper. And let's face it, we don't like to look deeper, because we want what we want, especially in America. We want what we want, and we want it now. And that's a letting go, because that's not living in the present moment. You know, I know with my daughter, when she moved, she looked at 70 houses, you know, and it's not going in them. It was the outside of it, because she went by vibration. What house was right for her? What was the point of going in a house if you knew it wasn't right for you? You know, it's listening to being balanced, listen to the heart center.